Hi, Red.
Hey, David! How are you? Hola, ¿cómo estás?
What she said. Welcome to the Twisted Pair. I mean, this has been a challenging of a week for me, and I apologize to everybody that I didn't get the posts things done, in time to let everybody know about the show and what we're going to do. But as Red can testify, my plate's been kind of crazy the past couple of days. But here we are, and we've got an interesting pairing for everybody tonight, I think.
Feliz miércoles. It's Happy Wednesday.
What she said.
Yes, I'm excited for two reasons. Because I love me some Mexican food. It is like, besides brisket, I mean, you could even put brisket in tacos and then, cilantro and onions and all that stuff. So it just makes like for the perfect thing. So, love Mexican food, Latin food, uh, Spanish food. Lived in Spain, Brazil, visited Mexico all the time in Mexico. And I just kind of grew up with that food and that culture, and it's just something that I really, really love. So
I
I'm
mean,
excited about it.
you even say cilantro in with the
Cilantro,
accent and rolling the R's, and if
limon.
if I try to roll the R's, my teeth will probably shoot out. I'll be chasing my tongue, what's going on down because it'll just keep on rolling. It's like we're free.
They're like, yay!
So I know we said Mexican food. I went with something different, but why don't you show us what you're going to start
Okay.
off with?
It's a hot mess because, like, the DoorDash moves it around, but it's okay. So there's a taqueria that's down the street from my house, and they have authentic Mexican food. And they try, uh, so what I have is three tacos with fajita steak. And they let you pick your meat. So I wanted steak. So I had rice, cilantro, onions, and then I have some rice and baked beans. And then I also have the two forms of hot sauces that go with it. There's the verde and the habanero. I think that one's the habanero. I have that. So that is what I'm eating because I'm excited about food. And
I,
then,
I'm excited about this too, especially the rest of your pairing because you've just with your drink is just like
yes, so I have my drink, and of course it's in my Day of Dead, my Day of Dead, the the Muerto mug, and it is horchata, which is a drink that's made from rice, and then they have like milk, it's rice milk, and they add cinnamon and some other stuff, and it's really good. So this is actually a liquor, horchata liquor, and then I added tequila to it because you have to have
mmm,
tequila, you know,
tequila.
tequila. And I did the Anhol, I didn't do the Blanco because I prefer the other one over the Blanco. And then I also added amar, amaretto to it
Ooh, that
to give it,
sounds delicious.
yeah. So it's got like the almonds, but like horchata is very cinnamony.
Mhm.
Cinnamony, is that a word? I'm gonna make it a
Yeah,
word.
cinnamon.
Yes. So it has it's very strong on the cinnamon and the vanilla to it. So it will be interesting to see how it pairs with my food. And then this is one of the originals. I don't know
Man,
if you can see it.
that's going way back. That's the Los Tejanos Lanceto.
So yes, this is Osak with Edgar Hoyle and Rojas Noel Rojas, and they made the Los Tejanos for Texas. That's what the Native Americans call Texas. And so I'm excited to smoke this. So it's a San Andreas wrapper, and I believe it's for I don't is it San Andreas all the way through? I know it's got
Uh,
some spice because it's got like some It feels like it's got some Nicaraguan. So if you're listening, if you wouldn't mind like checking it out and telling me, but it's got some of that San Andreas, but it also has that kick of pepper to it.
yeah, I think there's some San Andreas in the fillers,
Yeah,
but I do believe it's got some of the Nicaraguan
but
fillers in there.
it just smells like a chocolate bar.
Oh,
And it's
I
a
mean
close
that
and it's a close foot. And it's a
Ro,
Lancero.
Rojas signature.
Hmm.
And we have some exciting news about Rojas, which will come later. So, to tell
Yeah.
tell all your friends out there, the two of you that are on, to tell other people to come on because we've got some exciting announcements later on.
Pew
So
pew.
I went more Latin, I
La la
think
la
than I
Latina.
think than Mexican.
Hmm.
Albert is asking what's the cigar? It's the Los Tejanos Lancero. So I'm going to read what all is in mine. I've got a chicken tamale. I've got a pupusa, yuca, fried plantain, arroz casamiento, and black beans. And I have no idea what arroz casamiento is, and I only know what the pupusa is because I read about it. So I'm really, I mean, I am taking my gringo and going full tilt with this. Now, okay, so here's the yuca and the fried plantains and
Hmm.
looks like a little bit of coleslaw in there. And then I've got the black beans, and if that's Spanish rice, that's really dark Spanish rice. And then this is the pupusa,
Hmm.
and then this is the tamale wrapped in some kind of leaf, which is kind
Hmm.
of cool.
And I will just say from that, like my son-in-law, his family's from Mexico. So his mother is actually from Tamale, Mexico. And she makes the best tamales in the world. But she does more of hers wrapped up in leaves than corn husk, which is the typical. But I will say this. It is, if you want to know why tamales are so expensive, it takes forever to make them. I went
Yes.
over expecting like, oh, I went over to a friend's house to make tamales, and I really thought it was going to be like a quick process, maybe 3 hours, 4 hours. No, it was an all day. So yeah, and I'm excited about your drink. So you need to
So
talk about this.
so this is what I'm drinking is a desert sotal, or it's a sotal
Mhm.
made by Desert Door, Texas Sotal, and they are out of Dripping Springs, which right next door to Austin. This is coming in at 100 proof, and this one is what they call their golden because that is aged in a bourbon barrel, similar as an anejo or a reposado will be with tequila. So Sotal is in the agave family, but it's not the agave plant. It's a Sotal plant, but it has like the big bulb type root type thing that has the leaves that come out of it, or the agave type leaves that come out
Yeah,
of it. Um,
but they're a lot more narrow
the lot narrow come
and
to a
shorter.
much stronger much stronger sharper point too,
Yes,
and it's almost like fingers or mother's tongues that are coming out. And
right.
that's why when I did the tour, that's the way he actually described it. Is that
Hmm.
they call them mother's tongues because as a mother will you know cut you with your tongue really quick.
Oh, okay. I was like,
You're wondering
I
where I was
get
going to go with
it.
that. Um, like I said, rough week. And then I'm really going off try I'm really exploring the pairings on this. Okay, so I'm actually going to pair this with Anganorsa leaf and their Connecticut.
Yeah. But I think yours is going to be really, really good. And especially with the drink to that because there is some sweetness to that drink.
Oh, that very much
Yeah.
is. And with the Latin food that I went, and this is why I went with this one, is because the Latin food I know from fried plantains and from the yuca, because I have had those before, and I've had tamales
Mhm.
before. I haven't had the pupos, if that's how you say it. I mean, it almost sounds like I'm saying
Cool
poop.
plus. I know.
um, I've never had that, but all of that food has a lot of more earthy and subtle sweeter notes to it. I didn't get a
Mhm.
really spicy Mexican traditional dip type of dish. I went more with,
Ah.
so that's why I'm thinking that this will go good.
Ah, see. Okay. So, my cigar, according to Albert J. Hernandez, the wrapper is San Andres, binder Nicaraguan, Corojo, Somoto Valley, and then the filler is Nicaraguan with Somoto Valley. So, ding, ding, ding. You
Okay,
know,
so
you're right.
Samoto Valley, help me out with that one. I'm not sure. I'm familiar. I know Condego, I know Esteli, I know Jalapa, I know Matempe. Samoto Valley,
And
where?
and I think it's close to a volcano. So that's where if I remember correctly, but don't quote me 100%. I think it's near a valley. I said, and it's near a volcano. Hello, I will wake up in just a minute. I think it is near a volcano, so that's the pepper on that, if I remember
Okay.
correctly. So,
I, I'm gonna have to look into Samoto Valley to learn more about that region.
so, but like because it is a closed foot, I will say that the wrapper is San Andreas, but you're it's got a ton of spice, even though it's a closed foot. And usually on a closed foot, you get the taste of the wrapper
Yeah,
before it
you do.
hits. But to me, it is more. It's a I can taste that spice like it is boom because that's how much spice it is.
Which
So.
is which is very reminiscent of what both Edgar Hoyle and Noel, build their
Mhm.
cigars on, and they're really both of them are really known for those hits of spice.
Right. But as you go into it, because I'm right here on it, and so I'm not even like a half an inch or anything. But that spice has kind of mellowed out, and I'm getting more of the creamy chocolate on it.
So I'm just gonna jump in and try this paputos. I know it's got cheese. I did a mix, so it's cheese and pork filling
Yeah. Okay,
in
because
it,
I was
and
going to ask you.
it's really thin. So I mean it's
It's like a quesadilla. Kind of think of it as a closed quesadilla. But
okay.
here's my thing: is usually they'll put kind of some kind of sauce in it, like they cook the pork in some kind of
Mhm.
tomato sauce. So I'm curious, is it like, is it just regular pork or did they cook it into a tomato sauce pork?
No, it's in a tomato sauce pork, and if you can't really see it in the camera, I don't think, but you can see just like a little hint of pink in
Hmm.
there, and very flavorful. I mean, it's definitely got those, more of those that flower floral type notes with that. I pick up a little bit of the pork, getting a little bit of the cheese on it,
Well, and then
and like I
see,
said,
and you
a
said you
close
have
case.
flour. It's flour, right?
Yes, yes.
Mm.
It's delicious. The size of this tamale, I unwrapped the tamale. This tamale was this. I mean, it's not two tamales. It's a huge tamale. I mean, it's got to be this
Mhm.
thick.
Mhm.
Okay, so are you guys? Did you guys come with a food pairing? Let us know if you did. Want to see it in the comments. Thank you, Bert, for answering Red's question on what
Mhm.
the blending of her cigar is. Love to see what you guys are pairing. I think why food pairings scare off a lot of people especially when it comes to cigars is one, we're normally in sitting situations indoor, and you can't really smoke a cigars indoors, unless it's your own home, and generally we don't. So usually it's like a an after type situation. I mean, that's why cigars are we usually classify them as an after dinner cigar. So we don't put our mind into the mindset of how do I pair the flavors of a cigar and the drink and the food all together. And so I think it can be kind of overwhelming.
Mhm. Okay. Now I'm gonna say on mine because I have a corn tortilla. Because to me, you can't. I don't do the flowers because the corn's more authentic.
Right.
So I put the verde sauce, and it's not like the white people verde. Okay, it's not your pinto verde. It's got some jalapenos in it, and it's got some extra spices and kick to it. Now before with the cilantro and the onions and also the spices that they have on the meat, they do you know cayenne pepper and a lot of spices. And then I have a spicy cigar. But as I stated, the more I got into it, it's more of them. It's in Andrea, and I kid you not, before I was having the taco, and you could taste all the spices, and it was very flavorful. But then when I had the cigar and went to my taco, it completely mellowed it out.
Really, the taco or the cigar mellowed out the taco?
My, yeah,
Wow. That's something that doesn't happen very often where the cigar will mellow out the food.
yeah,
Because usually foods flavors are so bold and so
yeah,
intense.
yeah. That's why I was like very, very shocked. And I even have lime. I have like acid on this food because like you need some acidity. Um, and that lime, when you squeeze like half a lime on your street tacos, it's got a kick to it. So, so now I'm gonna
If
try my cigar after I have my tacos. So go ahead. Sorry.
if I was blindfolded on this
Mhm.
and I didn't know what cigar I was smoking,
Mhm.
going from the tamale to the cigar, I would not have guessed that this was a Connecticut the Corojo. I mean the Criollo, and I mean we all know that if you don't know what Aganorsa blends, you can pretty much say the Criollo 98
Mhm.
and be right most likely 70-80% of the time. Unless it's one of their other their other lines like the Guardians of the Farms and such like that. Their standard, which this is the Aganorsa Leaf. Aganorsa Leaf is the Criollos and the Corojos. This is bringing out some of the slightly spicy notes from the tamale is carrying through and is bringing forward some of those peppery notes from the fillers of the cigar. This is nice. This is nice. I'm enjoying this.
So, Albert says that the valley is northwest of Esteli.
Yeah, I see that. Good. Okay, thank you, Albert. If that's it.
So I'm getting a really interesting taste. on it, and it's like a smoke. When I go from meat to cigar, it's like a smoky. It's a very smoky, but I don't get that chocolate like the San Andreas if
Hmm.
I just have it by itself.
Hmm. So far with the tamale, going cigar to tamale and tamale to cigar is really nice. And the cigar to the tamale is really is bringing out that corn from the tamale itself. It's kind of bring that sweetness is bringing that more forward. But yet, whatever they did with the chicken to bring out the spiciness in the chicken,
Hmm.
that is bringing out the pepper notes in the cigar more forward when I go from the tamale to the cigar. Okay, so Albert says I am drinking a silver tequila by El Padrino with orange liqueur and a mango puree paired with Todos los Dias by D, Dunbarton Tobacco or DTT Saka. I think that's Saka, isn't that?
Hmm. Oh, fuck off. Um.
I'm like brain dead today. Sorry.
Well, and I was going to say earlier when I was saying it changed the flavor of the meat. If I was blindfolded, I would have sworn I was having like a Mexican pork, not beef fajitas. And pork has that fatty taste to it.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that it's kind of like that chocolatey pepper is bringing out like the fat. And the thing is like when you have the beef fajitas, they trim it very thin.
Okay,
Okay,
now that's
interesting.
that's really this is really interesting. Going from the Sotal to the cigar really brought forward the pepperiness. And you remember how I said going from the cigar to the tamale, it brought out the sweetness of
Hmm.
the corn.
Right.
Going from Sotal to cigar to the tamale, that spicy, that peppery, and it really carried through to bring the pepper notes from whatever they did with the chicken even more forward.
Okay. So on my drink, I will say it is a very sweet drink. And that's kind of like why I was like, hey, this is going to be really, really interesting because I have spicy food and then I have a very, very sweet drink with horchata. With horchata, it is like you get that cinnamon, the vanilla, then you add the tequila, then you add the amaretto. It is just like this is almost like a if you've ever had like a tres leche,
Yes.
and you add cinnamon on it, this is what this drink tastes like. It's a dessert, and it I just had my taco to the drink, and I can't taste my taco anymore, which I kind of figured that might happen. So I'm interested to see how the two go together, the drink from the cigar. So I'm gonna try that, and then on my next taco, I'm gonna try the habanero pepper stuff, the chile habanero. Mm.
So Coulter wins the award for the worst pairing of the night. His pairing is the stubborn crane with the grumpy crane tech.
Oh man, that's not a good pairing.
No, I think he needs to go
I'm
back to
sorry
the
about that.
drawing board. Yeah,
Hmm.
we need you to come back with a stronger pairing there, Chris.
And And I'm just gonna say, you won some awesome cigars on Texas Cigar. I just got to give a shout out for that. So you should be when you get home. Have some of those if you're able to.
Yeah, and that ashtray that he won on the from David Skelton of the Texas Cigar Roadshow is amazing. I got the chance to see it in person when I was there for the last recording, which was after where we were when we recorded episode 100.
Mm.
And got to say congratulations to Texas Cigar Roadshow for hitting 100 shows, 100 episodes. So
Woo!
that's pretty awesome. Congratulations to him. I know that's a great milestone. Chris says that the TCR cigar was incredible. Not sure the price point, but my first Era cigar was very enjoyable. And yeah, I agree. The TCR show, Era's a cigar out of Florida, is who makes the cigars for them, and it is
Mhm.
a great cigar. Albert
This is
says Rick.
oh, go ahead.
He says Rick Fernandez, the Todos Los
Total
Dias
slow.
is excellent.
So I will say this that oh, thank you, Chris. I just saw your comment. Um, my cigar has mellowed out that cinnamon to
Really?
where, yeah, so it's not so much in my face, and I really can't taste the amaretto, which is kind of crazy. But it doesn't leave the greatest aftertaste, the two of them, and I'm gonna blame that like on the horchata for the dairy for the rice
Yeah.
milk. So I'm just gonna say that because it's kind of like a burnt taste. Um, kind of, when they scorched the flan too much. That's what it tastes like. So,
That's interesting. This Soto and this Desert Soto, the Soto from Desert Door. If you guys have not tried Soto, you need to. If you like tequila and you like mezcal, but you want to find something that's kind of a good in between the two, then I highly recommend going
yeah.
with a Soto. The Soto is such a fantastic drink, and I love it. And the guys that do it at Desert Door, uh,
Great people.
great people. This is overall so far. This is a really good pairing.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the cigar and the Sotal go great together.
Woo.
The cigar and the tamale go good together. All three of them go good together. Now with that rice mixture that I showed you,
Uh-huh.
I for me it just does not have it doesn't have any flavor to it. There's no I mean it's kind of bland. So
Yeah.
it
I,
I'm like
I was gonna tell you, it's just there. It's hanging out. There's not much.
it's
Um,
I would say it's there for decoration, but it's the same color as the refried beans.
yeah. So I just did the death of the reddish orange hot sauce. That
Hmm.
is like it was like woo woo. But I am gonna say straight up, and I even told you this because it was gonna be an interesting pairing, and I knew some of it would not work. And before the show, we discussed this when we're in the green room. So I even said, I was like, I'm kind of nervous because I don't think there's some. I said, I think that the food and the drink will go pretty well because of the spicy and that. But I was hesitant about the cigar, and it doesn't go very good. My drink and my cigar don't go very well together. So just kind of FYI on that one. So
Now, what if you went drink to food to cigar?
okay, let me try that. And this is gonna be that actually might be helpful because this orange. stuff is so super hot. I'm not looking forward. Let me tell you, I love y'all because I am having extra spicy, and I like my jalapenos, and I like my red chilies, red chile. But I am not a fan of this thing. And what I really wanted to do is I wanted to make my spicy yellow rose infusion with the tequila and the mango
That's what I
and the
thought you were
simple
gonna
syrup.
do.
And that's what I planned to do, but I got too busy where I did not get to go and get my mango. Mm. And
This
I
is
even
going.
have simple syrup, jalapeno simple syrup hanging out in my refrigerator. I should have put it in here. It would have been good. Okay.
With the mango, I mean mango. I got mango in my mind now. Thanks.
Mhm.
With the fried plantain, that's pretty
Mm.
decent as well.
Mm, 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 mm. Oh my goodness.
Are
Mm,
you
mm,
burning?
mm, mm. Like even my son-in-law has a hard time with that one because they make theirs extra spicy. Oh, nope.
Oh, there's the bitter beer face.
Nope. Oh, no. Mm-mm. Nope. Not good. No bueno.
You have some wine nearby?
Oh, it's just the. It's not that it's the spicy. I'm talking about the cigar after having that. It's
Yeah.
like no, I do not need that. Um, it's not 8 o'clock, so I can't do it.
Read between the lines
Read
there.
between the lines. Um, it it's not that sauce is just so spicy, but it's like something is burnt, and that's not how you want to enjoy your cigars. You don't want something that's burnt.
No, and
And that's
I'm
another thing is like when you're doing this, go ahead before I forget.
I'm wondering what how a Malbec wine would work with this. Especially if you had like an Argentinian Malbec. So
Mm.
you bring out some of that spiciness, but you still have some of those earthy tannins. I mean, you bring out some of the sweetness to counter the spicy, but yet you still have some of those earthy tannins to marry up with everything else.
Okay, now you remember how I was talking about like the cigar and the drinks and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Well, after now that my nose is running, um, they leave the seeds in this, so you know if something has the seeds in it, it's no bueno. But like that, having the horchata, what I don't even know what this drink is called, but having the horchata, amaretto, and tequila to the cigar, it was pleasant, which is
Okay.
so freaking weird.
That is weird. That is. Okay, so now
Okay.
I'm going with the black refried beans.
Well, I
I
have a
mean,
question. Did you get any sauce, like salsa or anything on yours?
yeah, it's just in the house.
Okay.
It's back there, so I'm going without the salsa and with
Okay.
so hey,
Okay,
I'll
beans. So what are we doing? Beans to
so
cigar or
so
cigar to
yeah,
beans?
I'm going beans to cigar because
Okay. Go.
this is time number two because I need to confirm the flavors. Mm.
Vino. Oh my gosh.
I think that's my favorite yet because
The beans, really?
yes, wow.
Wow. That's insane, really? Okay, explain, Gravy. You got some explaining to do.
Would you ever describe beans as being meaty, gamey. That heavy, meaty, gamey. Real. I mean, like you have just bit into a nice, good, thick, medium rare bison steak type gamey. I mean, that deep of a gamey
No,
note. Okay,
no.
the beans don't have it, but it brought that out in the cigar.
Well, and I'm gonna tell you. So this was my thing. Is beans have like a natural earth ground to
Hmm.
like
And
dirt
that's what I
taste.
was expecting, but no. I'm. Let's try number three, just in case I'm loco in the head, which we already know I am.
But mine go nicely together. My beans and my cigar, but I'm not getting game on it. And I like bison. If you haven't had a bison burger, you're missing out. We should do like exotic meat.
Oh, we need to. Okay, that time it was a little bit different. Still gamey, still gamey, but there was a little bit of a sweetness in with it.
See, this is why you always carry backup. I just ran out of fluid. So, and I don't have my DuPont can next to me so I can refill it.
Do you have a backup lighter?
Hmm.
I've got like four sitting here
Hmm.
and three different cutters.
Well, I have my
Which
table cutter plus my I don't even my it's not
so
sidecar.
so
Why did I say that?
so yes,
Hmm.
Albert Bird. These are black beans, refried black beans, not
Which
not yours.
they're different tasting. They're not like refried beans
No, no, no,
at
they're not
all.
like your refried beans, like
Mm-mm.
from your pintos or your red beans or your kidney beans. No, no, these are very, very interesting. I haven't done this mix the sotol in with this yet.
Okay. Okay, that was crazy. Okay, my refried beans are kind of bland. You know, when you have pinto refried beans, they're just unless you add seasoning and stuff. They don't add seasoning because I eat at this place a lot. But I had my cigar to my beans, and it acted like I added some pepper on it because of the cigar, and it freaking rocked.
Uh, and this whole the black beans, the black
Hmm.
refried beans to the cigar to the sotol back to the cigar. It's kind of like a it's kind of like I had that bison steak, that bison burger with a little bit of honey. That's the kind of sweetness that comes to mind is the honey,
Hmm.
and then I bring the sotol in it, and now I just bit down in a nice jalapeno or a
Mm.
some type of pepper, and so it kind of brings around all three of the experiences of meaty, sweet, and spicy all together.
I'm gonna say that this is craziness. I can't believe I'm gonna say it. So far, I'm enjoying the cigar to the beans. The cigar to the beans because it's adding pepper to it. Um, because the refried beans. Now, do you have rice just by itself? Roasted?
I did
Roasted?
no, I did the rice or that
Okay.
right that black looking rice.
Oh yeah, you said it was bland. Which rice is kind of bland. I'm just gonna
Hmm.
say. Rice. My rice is nothing special.
Mine
Typical.
wasn't either.
I don't want to say this is typical Mexican rice because it doesn't have any vegetables in it,
Right.
like corn.
Okay, so now this is weird.
Hmm.
This is really weird.
Okay.
I took the beans and the tamale and mixed rice into it, all in
Mhm.
one bite. Then took a draw on the cigar. Nothing. Took a drink from the sotol, and nothing. It was like each one of them was its own individual component. And I'm not sure if it's
Mhm.
because the rice just kind of toned everything out so that I wasn't getting those transitions from food to cigar to drink.
Yeah, it's kind of like my drink is overpowering, which I was kind of nervous about that. And if I had some coffee liqueur, I would have done probably the horchata with the coffee, but I didn't have any of that, and the tequila. But yeah, so I'm gonna try it the other way. So I'm gonna try my horchata.
Okay, I got a challenge.
Ooh, yeah, and this is one. Oh, I see that. Do it, do it, do it. I'm proud of you for having your water.
I've been doing
I
better
didn't
about
even
that.
remind you.
No, I've been doing better. Okay, so plantains to my cigar. Okay, so here's the last bit of my plantains. Tiny bit of sour cream on there. Graham crackers. That honey and that graham crackers.
Mm-hmm. And you are gonna get honey from the plantain because of the natural
Mhm.
sugars.
Yep.
I do want to say that. Um, because
And
I make plantains at my house, and so it's like that naturalness, the sugar that makes and crystallizes it. It's I'm not shocked about that.
okay, so now I'm gonna go yucca to the cigar, which this has a lot of that bread type texture to it, and that bread type notes in the yucca.
Yeah.
Two complete, two, excuse me, completely different experiences with that. The
Okay.
yucca, the plantains to the cigar, like you both
Mhm.
have said, with that natural cane sugar, that honey, that
Mhm.
natural sweetness, really brings
Mhm.
out that kind of that honey graham cracker type notes from the cigar. The yucca, which is much drier type, bready type, flour type notes, and texture to it, brought out all of brought out really all of the natural earthy notes from from the kinetic from the cigar, which is what I normally get out of this cigar.
So here's something interesting, and and I'm assuming LL is Leslie Love. Hola, ¿qué pasa,
Uh,
mi amigo?
what she
No.
said.
So, and no, I'm not drunk. For those who are asking, I'm not
She's not
stupid
even drinking
speaking.
tequila,
No, I have tequila in my drink.
but you got other things. It's not
Yeah,
tequila by
that's true.
itself.
It's not straight tequila. Okay, so when I had my, because I still have that habanero sauce on it, right?
Hmm.
And with the cigar, it calmed it down. Okay,
Interesting.
and it tasted really good together. But I still had the meat, like I was still chewing and I puffed. I know that sounds so disgusting, but you can judge me for it, and I don't care.
No, no
Um,
judgments.
and so I was putting it, so it was all together in one moment in my mouth. That didn't sound very good. I'm sure I'm
No
gonna get
ju-
shit for that later.
no no judgments.
So I had that. But then when I didn't mix it with so I ate my taco, right? Then
Hmm.
I puffed my cigar, and it did not taste the same at all. It was real peppery.
Interesting. That is.
So, so that's another way. Also, when you're thinking about pairings, when you're doing this, is like if you want to have something in your mouth while you puff, go for it and try it because who knows what flavors you're missing out on. And
And
as my air
you
fryer
might get
project.
lucky and hit that unami.
Well, and that's what it was really good. It was very, um, it was good. I enjoyed it that way. So, I mean, I just think that's weird.
I, I think that's a great point of bringing all of them together at once.
Hmm.
The food and the cigar and the drink all together on your palate at one time, and really get those flavors to where they meld together and explode. So Bert had said, "What Red? What do you think? Do you think a Lajero or double Lajero would have been better instead of a San Andreas?"
Mm, it would have been horrible with my drink. Totally think that. Um, and it would have been good with my cigar, Cuban cigar.
Yeah, I'm thinking that with your drink, that the milk combination of it, the rice milk, may be what's overpowering the
Well, you
cigar.
know what I really think it is? It's the amaretto.
Really?
Yeah, I think the amaretto because I will tell you, y'all gonna sit there and say, "Oh, she needs AA," but I did.
No judgment.
I know y'all don't judge me. Y'all don't know what my week's been like. So, I had 3 shots of the horchata. I did 2 shots of the amaretto, and I did 2 shots of the tequila. Now, if I had to remake this drink, I would have done. Um, I would have kept the 3 shots of horchata. I would have only done 1 shot of the amaretto, and I would have kept maybe 3 shots of the tequila or two
Now,
shots.
I wonder how that would been because you said you went with either an anejo or a reposado in the tequila.
Hmm.
I wonder how that would have been with a blanco.
Oh,
So
I
so
think the
you're getting this.
Blanco would have been better. I really think the Blanco would have been better. Well, because it's not that sweetness, you know.
Yeah, and you would have brought out more of the vanilla notes and a bit more of
Hmm.
the agave notes. Where with the reposado is it an anejo or the reposado that you went with?
It's a Neho because
So
it's my favorite tequila. It's a staple in my house.
yeah, Albert, and this Albert is must be inside my head because this is what I'm thinking of. As the
Hmm.
Blanco's less smoky than the anejo, and
Hmm.
you're not gonna have as many of those whiskey notes that you get out of the anejo on it. So I'm wondering if that combination is what's impacting the experience. Okay, so Les said he's more of a mezcal guy. Then you have got to try Desert Doors Sotal.
And here's my thing: you can get this stuff at Total Wine, y'all.
Yes, you can get this at Total
You
Wine.
have a Total Wine, it's there,
Sotal. I find Sotal a nice balance between the tequila and the mezcal.
and it gives the sweetness, but there's also some earthiness to it. And just FYI, it's a native plant to Texas.
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Woo-hoo. They used, and I know Albert's going to say Texas used to belong to Mexico.
So Albert, here's a food pairing from Albert. Anejo, great with smoked barbecue and red meat lovers.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
I thought
Well, I
about
just
bringing my red meat lovers out for this, but I didn't have
mhm.
a whole lot of beef type meat. Mine's got uh, my tamale is a chicken based tamale, so that's kind of why I didn't go with that.
Well, I'm glad I'm done with the that hot sauce. Whew. And I'm also glad that I have the horchata to calm my little mouth down. So on this third one, I'm not putting any sauce on it, which is going to
No
be hard
sauce.
for me. No sauce.
So okay, so the first one you did a verde.
Hmm.
The second one you did a habanero,
Uh-huh.
and the third one is no sauce,
Nada.
nada. And see, I think I've gone through all of my pairings in my food here.
And I'm hoping I can eat this because I'm already full. Oh,
Well,
I
but I told Buggies that I would probably have some leftovers for her to enjoy.
I'm not sharing with my kids. They know to not mess with mama's food.
I'm happy to share with her.
Mm.
So Les says he really enjoys a smoky mezcal. The favorite
Mm.
is Clase Azul. Clase
Wait,
Azul
hold
is
on.
kind of pricey.
Oh, I was about to say, what? Gabe?
Any other food pairings that we have got going on tonight? And I would
Mm.
love to hear your guys' feedback on what do you think about these food
Mm.
pairings, and if you have any other challenges for us on the food pairings. And thank you, Albert, for bringing this challenge to us with Mexican food on the food pairing. Next week we're going to have another is going to be another pairing show. So bring us your challenges. What do you want to see? What do you want us to explore?
Well, and I'm thinking it's because he's Mexican.
Your what?
It's because he's Mexican.
Hey, what
No
what
hate.
gave what gave it away? Is it the last name?
Who got like the yeah, Albert. Well, I want to say Alberto, but it's Albert. We're
Albert.
renaming you.
What does the J stand for?
Mm-mm. I'm allergic to shellfish and
Okay,
oysters.
so
You can try it. I'm not gonna stop you from trying it, but I can't eat oysters. They're not happy with me.
so Bert says game meat and a cigar. Bring which we talked about a game meat.
Hmm. I don't know where
Gabriel
we're gonna
says
find that though.
uh, we we'd probably have to go to like a market street like that.
Yeah, a
Ooh,
butcher.
okay, all right, Gabriel. All right, Gabe, I'm gonna hold you to this one. Get us
Ooh,
milk.
elk. I am
Get us
totally
milk.
down with some elk.
All right.
100%.
All right. You guys heard it. Gabe's gonna get us some elk for next week, so we're gonna pair an elk, some game meat, some elk with a cigar.
Hook me
And
up.
and I'm going to say, okay, Red, I'm going to add to that challenge.
Wine.
Wine, red wine.
Red.
Yep.
I knew it. I knew it.
It's got to be a bold red wine like a Cab Sauv, a Cab Franc, or a Bordeaux style blend. And if you need a bottle, just let me know.
Okay. Okay, I'm just going to say right now, I miss my sauces on my taco
But
with
how
my
is the
cigar
pair?
and my drink.
Okay, so the sauces actually brought out something. The sauces brought out something for the pairing in the
Yeah.
pairing for you.
But here's the crazy thing. And also, I know as I'm transitioning, but I'm not that. I'm in the second one. I don't remember it being as sweet as it is now.
Really
Hmm.
interesting. Okay,
I'm getting a lot of
Les,
vanilla.
really. Now
Uh-huh.
I wonder if that is the drink that's bringing that
Hmm.
out because I've smoked plenty of Los Tejanos and I've never gotten any
Got
type of
vanilla.
vanilla notes in it,
And that's
even
what
in
I'm
a San
saying. That's
Andres.
like, that's what I'm saying. It is like flipping crazy. Because I went from drink, taco, cigar, and it was a vanilla taste. And I'm
Very,
not mad
very.
at it.
No, I mean, how could you be mad at that? Because that
It's like
almost,
phenomenal.
yeah, that really brings out a whole different experience, man. Because when you take that chocolatey note from the San Andres and you add that vanilla into it, it's almost
Hmm.
like you're coming in, bringing out a s'mores with it.
Hmm. Right. What does that say?
So Les says prep everything with prep everything with game meat. Soak overnight in buttermilk, and then grill on a hot grill until medium rare. I don't have a
Ooh.
grill. I'm not able to grill since I live in an apartment. So probably what I'll do is everything that you've already stated, but I will probably do a reverse sear on it.
Hmm.
Do a reverse sear that way I get that nice medium rareness all the way through it, and then sear it for that nice crispy outer.
And I know Les is a hunter, and he's a turkey. Like he does a lot of turkey. Well, I don't know if that's the only thing he hunts, but that's what he has on his Facebook. Yes, I stalk my followers and the people who watch our show. So,
Yes,
Les, do you hunt anything else besides turkey? That's just, oh, and it has to be cast iron.
I have a glass top stove, so cast iron's a little bit more challenging to do. Plus, I don't own any cast iron I can use on it.
It, and here's the thing: is with me being lactose intolerant, ice cream will kill me straight up. So I can't do. You can do it,
Could you do a
and I could.
sherbet?
That's what I was saying. I could do a sherbet or a gelato.
Oh, that would be good. I got to show this one.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Les Hunt's Abra too.
Oh, pistachio gelato.
A pistachio. Okay. All right. So
I'm not near a like little Italian market, because I live out in the small town.
so Morgan says that Ben and Jerry's has the best dairy-free ice cream.
No, I disagree. I disagree. Mm-mm. Nope. Oh, it is. It's got this aftertaste that is just so weird. So here's the
So
thing.
okay.
Coyote. I want to know how coyote tastes.
Mm.
I've
We
had another. I've had just to answer Morgan's question real quick. I've had another non-dairy, and I can't remember what it is, but it is phenomenal. Hmm. I've never had coyote. Have you had coyote?
he just says that you don't eat coyote, and he's kind of given a
Oh,
little bit of uh, no judgment, Les. No judgment.
I'd eat it. Kind of like a dog, though. Then I'd be. I'm not gonna say it because then we'll get censored.
Yeah, no, you can't do that. But I
I would
love
not eat coyote.
I love all the recommendations that we've got coming in. So Morgan, if you could do me a favor and just kind of keep notes on some of the ones that we've had come in. We've had game meat, elk. Gabe is going to provide the elk for us. I'm going to hold him to it. We've got ice cream or gelato, and Gabe has recommended a pistachio. Okay, Morgan's calling you out on this one, Red. So you guys will have to touch base offline on the ice cream situation here.
Oh, is she gonna fight me on my non-dairy choice of ice cream?
No, I think she's wanting more options. I
Oh,
think she's
what more
wanting more.
options?
Yeah, I think she's wanting
I've
more
got you.
options.
Because I'm gonna say this here now. I'm gonna pay for the horchata later. But when you mix alcohol with the dairy, I don't know what it does, but it chills out whatever it makes your tummy upset. Is that inappropriate? The more alcohol, the better it is on your tummy. I know that sounds crazy. But when you straight eat dairy or drink dairy when you're lactose intolerant, that is just like death sentence right there. And I'm gonna say my favorite pairing for the night is the beans.
I'm with you. And my tamale pairing was really good too. The pupusa was okay. Um, the rice was not good at all, and the combination of all of them together was meh. All right, so we've got Creole as a recommendation.
See, my allergies is what's killing us in this pairing because I'm like, oh, that would be yummy. However, gumbo's got stuff that I'm allergic to it. Then the grilled oysters. And let me tell you, I tried crawfish for the first time, and I'm not really supposed to eat it. So I only had a couple of the crawfish just so I could taste it. So I might have to be able just to have a couple of it. But like I know I can't do oysters. I've tried oysters and it is just not a it's not a pretty thing.
now, are you allergic to all shellfish, shrimp, lobster included? So it's any type of crustacean type fish that you can't, crustacean
I'm not
seafood that you can't do.
I'm not supposed to. So like I've done like a small lobster and I've mixed it with other food to help with it. And it's just been a small amount. Like when I went to Hell's Kitchen, for example, they have this lobster risotto. So you were supposed to I didn't eat the entire thing. I only had half the lobster and I had the risotto, but I also had the beef Wellington and I also had
Two things that he has made his name known in his kitchens is the risotto and the beef Wellingtons.
and I'm going to tell you they kicked ass. Whole, let me tell you, I probably gained eating at Health Kitchen. I'm not gonna lie, I probably gained like 10 to 15 pounds just that night. And then they allowed me to go into the wine cellar and
What? And
yeah.
you didn't give me any pictures, didn't show me. I mean, no
Well, I
pictures,
had
no
one.
video
I had
walkthrough. I mean,
I know. but it had to be really, really quick because they said they weren't supposed to allow us to do it. So it had to be really, really quick, snap the pictures, and then get out.
See,
But
see
I
that's when
will
you
tell you
pretend that
this.
you're snapping pictures and you're actually doing a video walkthrough.
But I will tell you this that they had like a couple of bottles that were several $1,000s. Like
Uh
for one
huh.
bottle, it was a couple of that, and I was like, "Ooh, that's like insane." And it's cheap. Well, let me rephrase that. It's cheaper to do the bottle almost than the glasses. It depends on what you get for wine. Alligator, I will go down on. Well, I can't. Okay, I was gonna say I will go down on alligator, but
Red, red.
I'm classy, not trashy, y'all. But that sounded so what? But I will eat
Uh,
alligator.
I,
I'm
I, w-
done.
I will
I'm
eat some
done.
alligator too. It's the tequila in her drink. No judgment.
Tequila makes her clothes fall off. If y'all haven't heard that country song, you need to look it up. But I'm gonna say tonight my favorite pairing was my refried beans with my drink and my cigar. Just saying.
My favorite pairing was the refried beans, the black beans refried, with a cigar and with a drink as well. Morgan's gonna make a no judgment count in the edit.
Okay, good.
You know, Gabe, you apparently with this butcher, we're gonna have to talk and do some hookup here because your butcher has whole alligator too.
Okay, so is your butcher the same butcher that we both know at the UG? Because like
It's after 9 o'clock somewhere.
yeah. I'm glad you know that song. It's like the best song. If like country people who hate country music, you need to listen to that song. It will make you laugh and smile. Just saying.
My favorite tequila song is the one that is the tequila song where it's nothing but the dun, 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 whatever that tune is, and at the end he goes tequila.
Well, I did it on one of our stories.
Yes, you did. Okay, so
Okay,
he says his butcher is the prolific butcher
oh,
shop
okay.
on Roost Snow.
It's not the same. But I'm going to say this. Beans to cigar, now that I'm coming towards the end, is giving it an earthy taste on my cigar.
Really?
Yeah. I'm having very interesting pairings
You
tonight.
are now. Have you gone from the cigar, kept the smoke in your mouth, and then gone to a bite, to where you had a full palate, the full body of the smoke, and then went
Okay.
to the food,
I'm going to
cleanse
cleanse.
the palate.
I know someone's going to take a screenshot, and this is going to be such a beautiful picture of me with my. Okay.
If anybody's doing
So,
any screenshots of any of this, you got to send them to me so I can put them up on the website.
no. There's already some unflattering pictures that I'm not happy about of me on websites. I'm just saying.
On our website,
Mm.
I was gonna say I don't I need to find some better pictures. Now retro hell.
Woo!
No judgment.
Graveyard's having fun with this tonight.
Yes,
I said, Mother Trucker.
did you see what Bert just said? I have
Hmm.
a death wish. I'm just sitting back enjoying my cigar and my drink and the show. I think I'm enjoying this as much as our viewers are.
Yeah.
I needed a good chuckle.
and that's why I'm here.
I'm happy to be of service.
I know.
This this
I
would
mean,
this would this would make a good bloopers. Where yeah,
woo,
Morgan says blooper show.
yeah. We need to have a blooper one. Okay, I can't eat anymore, or I'm going to bust. Um, but at the end of that, I'm just gonna say I still enjoy cigars to beans to drink, drink to beans to cigar, beans to drink to cigar, and all that other stuff.
Do you see what Bert just said?
I just have three phalanges for y'all, but there's one that's really important that you need to read between the lines. Where's Chris? Where's Coulter? I need
Uh,
him.
he he's you remember he's got the bad pairing, so he's probably gone off. We're not drunk at all, Les.
No,
Not even close.
I wish I was drunk. It would be nice. Um, because it's been a crazy week. But
You even I went with the wide bottom glass, and it's just like, damn, this is only 100 proof. Oh, Chris.
yeah.
Okay, Chris is still working, but he is listening.
Woo woo. See, I don't want to say boy. I knew my man was out there. That sounds so bad. But
Hmm.
oh, is he ready for poker Sunday or what? He probably
Uh,
is.
Sunday, I'm not going to be able to do poker on Sunday because I am going to a brunch. Some,
I'm not laughing at your brunch comment. I'm laughing at Albert. Some of the
yes.
viewers are drunk, yes. Um, Noble Coyote, what is that? Oh, he says it's on the ninth.
Okay, the ninth, good. I could probably do the ninth, but the second, um, like 3 months ago, I paid for a brunch in a brunch, exclusive type brunch type meal thing in Fort Worth that I'm going to be going to.
Let me tell you, if I could eat, see, I talked about like I love Mexican food's my number one. Well, I don't know. I'm gonna have to say like smoked food, like brisket and Mexican food. That's a tie. I can't choose my first love, but brunch would probably be number two. I love me some brunch.
Oh, my favorite brunch. My favorite brunch that I do, and it's breakfast food, but it's at Chef Point Cafe, and it is their eggs Benedict. Oh, their eggs Benedict and their hollandaise sauce is just, oh, it just mouth-watering
Yes.
good.
And if you've ever made hollandaise sauce, it is a pain in the butt to make it. It is
It
difficult
is a
because
major pain in the butt,
yeah,
but I can make it. I have made one. I
yeah,
made a hollandaise, and I can do it.
yeah, it is that. Um,
That okay? We have not done that yet. We need to do a breakfast pairing,
brunch.
a brunch type pairing.
Man, but I also want to do elk. Like I want to do game meat.
So
Mm,
let's do game meat next week.
okay.
And are we ready to? I think we're ready to talk about our special guest on the 12th.
I think so too. Because can I give him a hint?
You can.
Okay, y'all ready for the hint? Dun, 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 dun. Doo-doo. If you can't guess this, I want to see in your comments, who do you think our special guest is?
Who is April 12th? Who is our special guest on April 12th?
And if
We
you
have
can't get this, you're fired.
Yay,
Yay!
Morgan, the non-cigar smoker. Okay, so I want to say I gotta say something else. I gotta call out and give kudos to Morgan. For those of you who don't know, Morgan is my daughter. If you don't know where the hell you've been, but Morgan is my daughter, and at the NFG festival, okay, She was on crutches. She was, had her wheelchair there. She's on crutches, and she was. What we found out today from her orthopedic that she most likely has got torn ligaments and uh, damage in her ankle. Thank the Lord, there's no broken bone, but it's looking like she may have to have surgery on her ankle to repair her ankle. She has no feelings in her toes. All of that stated is because she worked the NFG festival, and there's a few people that stated to her, "How can you be a leaf and grain when you don't even smoke cigars?" You don't have to be a part of Leaf and Grain. You don't have to be a part. You don't have to smoke cigars to be a part of Leaf and Grain. You don't have to smoke cigars to be a part of the cigar community. The cigar community does
Oh,
not have a condition that you must smoke cigars or drink in order to
right.
be a part of the community. And for those of you who think that, to quote Ash, that's what I gotta say about that.
And
She she
I
busted
want to
she
add to
busted
that
ass.
because you're being a dad, so I'm gonna remove you for a minute because I'm not partisan to it, even though I love Morgan to death. She was phenomenal. She did kick ass. So everything that Graybeard is saying, it's not from like his dad had. This is
You're
from
not
like,
biased.
yeah, he is not. He is, some people are like, oh, he's biased. He's biased. No, she freaking kicked ass, and I got to brag about her to other people because she went out there and she did what she did, and she like flipping kicked ass on it. So I was very proud of her. I was very appreciative of her, and and I'm gonna say this: I wasn't on crutches. I was me on high heels and my shoulder and my back and all this other crap that I have with me because I'm old. Some of it, like I know some of our viewers don't think that, but I am older. Um, I was hurting, and and here's my thing: is she acted like she didn't hurt, but I know she was hurting
Oh,
because
she
I've
was
been in that place.
hurting.
But she gave it her all, and she did it for NFG. So I want to say kudos. And look, I'm putting some smoke up for you, girl.
Putting some smoke in the air
And I do
for
love you.
buggies.
Yeah, for her. So thank you for not thinking that I'm old, but I am old enough that I could be your mother. Think about that. You would call well, and she does call me mom, so I was like, whatever.
Yes.
But I'm not being that as a biased mom. I'm being someone also from the outside because as much as I love her, I can separate the two. Does that make sense?
Right. No, no, I get it. And what she did, that gave you and I and Matt, Spiceman, the chance to be able to go out away from the table and talk
Hmm.
to other people about what we're doing at Leaf and Grain, talk to other people about NFG, talk to other people about Spiceman Spice Blends, and push them to the table. And what we saw from that was a really good increase in our followers. And so the standard YouTube plugs, if you're not subscribing and following us on YouTube, please do so. When we can hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, we can really start going to vendors and talking to them about uh, sponsoring sponsoring the show. And we are going to be integrating some new segments into the show to add more to this.
Yes.
So you guys have helped us grow, help us keep it growing, and help us taking it to that next level. To quote Joey G.
And I'm gonna I just saw the Mexican's comment. I'm not even gonna say his name because he put Gurkha. What the heck? I'm
What
just saying. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, no. Sorry. The winners of who it is right here, Rojas and Noel. So
Yeah.
we're going to have not we're going to have Albert, who is Noel's right-hand man,
Yeah. Not
and
Albert Hernandez, not our Albert,
no,
but the
not
other
not
Albert.
Albert.
But
Albert,
they were both were born and lived in the same city, which is interesting.
really?
Yeah, they were both from Chicago. They were both born in Chicago, and they're both from Chicago and lived in Chi-Town.
Now I thought that Noel was born in Cuba. I know
No,
his family's from Cuba,
no,
but I
I
thought,
said Albert. It's both Alberts.
oh, both Alberts. Okay.
Escúcheme, escúcheme. That means listen to me. Oh, he did a close up on that one. Okay, so I do want to tell y'all, whenever you are like, so my dad has had businesses all over the world. And one area that I grew up in the Latin community was Brazil. If you do this in Brazil, it's the same thing as that. That in Brazil is the same thing as that. Okay. Because
So
it's after 9 on the East Coast, so I can do it.
talking about our kids, my son, when he was 8, 9, 10, even into his preteen ages, he would get mad at you
Um,
and he would go,
That's
and we
greatness.
would we would say, Jonathan, and he'd go, I'm not flipping you off.
It's the same thing, bro. This is what my kids would do. Are you ready? They would do this, and they would give me angry eyebrows. And that's a Friends reference. So if you watched Friends,
Hmm.
you know that Ross and all of them do this.
Yep. Oh, and when
Yeah,
they're really mad, they would do.
yeah. So that's what my kids would do, and they still do that. So yeah,
You crossed the mom moment when you did that.
yeah. And then I will say this. I do have a serious thing that I do want to talk about. To kind of this month is not only it's been Women's Month, which is great and whatever, but I'm not all for. I don't want to say that I'm not for women's equality because I I do want equality on certain standards. But I guess I'm not a feminist because I still want to be treated like a lady. Believe it or not, I still want doors open for me. I still want uh, the nice surprises and all of that thing. Um, and I still want to be recognized as a mother because I think with the feminist movement, all that stuff is not looked at. Does that make sense?
It does, and if we remember back when we were younger and when the feminist movement really started, it's nothing like what it was originally intended to be, and that was to bring out more awareness to women and bring out
Right,
equalities that women can do things. Now, are there
right.
things that men do better than women? Yes. Are there things that women do better
Women
than
do
men?
better than men?
Yes.
Hell
That's
yes.
the point. That's the point. That
But
that's that's the point that it's trying to bring out, that women are not a lesser creature, not a lesser
right,
gender, and men are not a greater gender. We
no,
each have our roles in society that we're better at.
right. And I know I'm probably going to get a lot of like hate mail and stuff, but I don't care because my number one thing is my children. I will fight for them if you say and I know dads are like this too, but I feel like sometimes most moms, and I'm going to say most moms because not all moms are like this, but when it comes to my children, if you say something or you do something that's not appropriately said, I'm going to come at you like that mama bear, and you're going to be praying to Jesus that you never dealt with me, because that's where the crazy wreck comes in. But I'd also mental health awareness. And I think that like that's kind of been overshadowed because of Women's Month. And my thing is you've got to take care of your mental state. You've got to take care of you. Hold on, and I'm going to disappear for 2 seconds because my AirPods are low. But here's what I want to say is mental health is important. And I don't want you to discount someone's mental feelings or their feelings. Because this is what I've always told my kids, and this is, and I know Graybeard's going to agree. And I'm sorry for going off on a tangent because we've had fun tonight. But I think this needs to also be brought up. Is everyone is justified on how they feel. I can't tell you how you're going to feel. You can't tell me how I'm going to feel. And everybody needs to be heard and respected for how they are feeling, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 100% agree. And I, this is going to sound like a plug, and it's not meant to be a plug. But I have a new podcast out that's called Cigar Reflections with Graybeard, and it's based upon the reflections that I've had. A lot of it coming from my devotional times and my prayer times with God. Uh, but the last episode that I just released talks just about this, and it's okay to not be okay. It's not okay to live in that moment. It's okay to not be okay.
Right.
And this is all about, look, no matter what kind of loss that you're going through, whether it's a loss of a sentimental object, it's a loss of a loved one, it's a loss of a relationship, it's a loss of a job, it's a loss. And you have to allow yourself to go through a grieving process of that. And that grieving process is not going to be linear. It's not going to be the same for everybody. But if you don't allow yourself to go through it, then that's going to cause greater problems within inside, and you're going to find yourself agreeing or believing lies that your mind starts telling you about about the process, the grieving process. You may believe the lie of the disbelief that what happened didn't happen. You'll convince yourself that it didn't happen, and you'll find yourself blocking that off. You may believe different types of bargaining agreements. If I had only done this, then maybe my relationship with him or her would still be around. If I had only done this, then maybe they wouldn't have taken their lives, or maybe I wouldn't have lost my job, or maybe whatever happened wouldn't have happened. That's dangerous. You've got to allow yourself to feel. You've got to allow yourself to go through this. Otherwise, the mental impact on it is going to be greater than what you can handle.
But okay, so and that is true with the grief, but I kind of want to I also want to bring up the fact that it doesn't have to be a grief. It can just be depression, anxiety, and things that are causing that. Because we all deal with grief in a different way. Like, and it doesn't matter what kind of grief, like Graybeard was saying. And I want you to hear what he was saying. But I think that now, and especially since the COVID is and I'm going to share something, and I haven't even told Graybeard this. The last I got a phone call saying that one of my children wanted to end their life and reached out to someone, and they were either going to take them to the psychiatric ward or I had to come and get them. And the thing is we all deal with our own demons. And whenever you have anxiety or ADHD, depression, um, PTSD. I have two children that suffer from PTSD. I have two children that suffer from anxiety. And, it doesn't help that, that and a lot of people don't know this. So I'm sharing something with you on this. I deal with depression. I deal with anxiety. I overthink things. And it's just kind of you need to be aware, and it is okay to feel how you are feeling in that moment. But if you're thinking those thoughts, please reach out to somebody. Please reach out to somebody. And here's the thing is the last couple of years since they've made the mental health movement, which I'm so glad that they're making that one. And it's kind of like Frederick said earlier, is there's a lot of movements that start off really well intended with good messages, and it gets hijacked by extreme elements of that movement.
Hmm.
And my thing is, this I'm praying does not happen, because I think, and especially in our society with, and I'm going to say with men and women have been said, oh, they're emotional creatures, they cry, they're to the extreme, you know. And so a lot of women, whenever it comes to mental breakdowns and stuff, they're like, oh, it's part of being a woman, so excuse yourself. Men are taught not to cry and express themselves. So you have
And
two extremes. And my thing is F it. It's kind of, and I think Allison for the hugs and cigar, the hugs from Austin. But my thing is, don't effing, like, it's kind of like, Rockefeller with NFG, FU 2022 or whatever. F that thought. You have a right to express yourself and to think that, and please share it with someone. And here is the beautiful thing, is there is free counseling out there that's available from
there
trained
is.
people.
Yep.
And I'm trained to a certain point because of what I have my master's degrees in and what I do for a living. So I do have that background and I do have that. But my thing is, feel free. And Graybeard, and I've always said this, even Desiree with Drunken Chicken has said this, reach out to either of to any of us, but don't dismiss it. And that's the sad thing nowadays is, and it's been that way forever. I don't want to say, and I think nowadays it's more of like, okay, we'll take some, but some people still have that philosophy of like, F their feelings, suck it up, be a man, be a woman, and get on with your life. And I'm here to say, don't. And if you or your child or someone you love is going through that, don't effing judge them. Listen to them. Take time away. Don't do what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, for example, this weekend I was supposed to go in and work, but I said, F that. I'm going to spend time with my kids because they need to know that.
Right.
So, reach out and say, hey, I really need someone to rally around me and to be there for me, and I need help. Because there are lines that you can text, there are helplines that you can text that are for free, and you can get the help that you need. And I'm sorry that I went off on a tangent on this because, like, we always have fun and we want to have fun and we talk about the pairing, but I didn't want mental health month to also get lost with the women's rights month, because yes, the women's movement is very important to me because I'm a woman and it's
I
hard in this industry. But to me, the mental health is more important than being a woman, if that makes sense.
I agree with you on that, and I want to add a couple of things onto this. Some of you may know, most of you probably don't. We're coming up on the fifth year anniversary. I'm going to say anniversary that I attempted to take my life. Back in April of 2018, I attempted to take my life, and was I knew that I suffered from depression and from anxiety all along, and from the need of feeling validated by others, and I found I found my value only in occupational value, where what that means is if I was doing something for somebody, then I had value. If I wasn't doing something for somebody, then I had no value, rather than an intrinsic value of being valuable to people just because of just because I'm alive. just because of who I am. If I wasn't being a good dad, then I had no value. If I wasn't being a good husband, I had no value. And if I wasn't being a good husband at that point in time, I wasn't being a good employee at that point in time. And so I had no more value. And so I tried to take my life. I've been able to climb through this, and this is what part of what I'm writing about and my podcast is about, is my journey of healing and through that. And I learned to see what my triggers are in my depression when my depression is coming on. And so in recognizing that, I'm able to call out. I'm able to reach out to someone. I've reached out to Red. I've reached out to different people. And you've got to learn to recognize that before that depression comes in and grabs a hold of you to the point where you no longer have that strength to reach out. And so my challenge to everybody is learn who your circle is, learn who your friends are, learn who your family is. And when you know people that are where they're normally very outgoing, very social, they go to the cigar lounges, they do things, and they do things on a regular basis, and all of a sudden those changes come, and they're no longer coming out to the lounge to smoke a cigar. They're no longer posting on Facebook or Instagram, and where normally that's a constant day type thing, where those changes come in, reach out to them, because it could very well be that they're in a position at that point in time to where they don't have the strength to reach out. And that's when it starts getting dangerous. And so accountability with somebody is not a passive action, it's an active action to where we need to reach out. If I haven't heard from Red in a while, I'm reaching out to her and I'm messaging her and I'm saying, "Hey sister, haven't heard from you in a little bit. What's going on? How are you doing?" And if 99% of the time she messages me back and say, "I'm sorry I haven't reached out. I'm just swamped with work. I'm swamped. I've got 20 evaluations that are due. I've got 54 ARDs that I need to do. I've got 136,000 reports, and I'm working 18 hours a day, and I'm doing everything else." And I was like, "Okay, as long as you're breathing, as long as you're okay, I get that. Thank you for letting me know that you're still around." And sometimes that's all it takes. Sometimes it doesn't even take that much. All it takes is just a, "Hey, just wanted to tell you good morning." And all it takes is something like that. And somebody can turn around and say, "Hey, thanks for reaching out. Do you have a moment just to talk just for a little bit?" And I had someone recently reach out to me and said, "Hey, have you got a minute? I just need to let loose." Reached out to me, and I was like, I went out to this person and came out and met this person, and just let the person talk for a bit. I didn't try to solve any problems for this person. I just listened, and that's all it takes.
And I'm gonna say a lot of times that's all it takes. But I want to put Gabe's comment about like if you are not professionally and you haven't been trained in this area and you don't know what to do, please keep that person like chatting or whatever. And then you might want to go with that person and say, "Hey, do you want me to be with you when you call this?" Or find somebody who is able to do that. Because there's some things, and it's kind of like what when you're trained in this area, you are trained to ask particular questions. There's certain questions that you ask, and there's certain things that you need to ask them. But if you are not trained, kind of, if we could put Graybeard, if we could put Gabe's comment on, because I would really love to read it, because it is so to the point of what I'm saying. And if someone reaches out to you, and if you aren't trained, try to keep them talking until you can get the proper help. Um, so he's heard a stat that Secret Service study that 81% of the school shooters told someone, which is so true. And in this month, I'm going to say, my daughter's school had a threat. We had
a shooting at a school that is just down the street from where we live, where one student was shot, another student was shot and killed, and then a third shooting happened at another school here close to it. Don't get me on the gun control, people. This is not what we're here for, because those people have had issues and they reached out. And here's the sucky thing is a lot of people, we get too busy, we get caught up in our lives that we don't take the time to listen, or we don't know how to help them, but if you don't, just keep them talking until you can get someone to help them.
Yes.
I mean, it hits too close to home. And I'm going to say this. I love my children. I am so glad that I had my children, because here's my thing is my children, you know, are, I'm hard on my kids. I am. But also, my kids stand up for the kids who are not treated well. They stand up for those bullies and everybody that goes against them, and because they're weird and all this other stuff. And I'm proud of them for that. But it is so hard to be a teen and a young adult. And I'm even going to say on Morgan's, like her age, that I am glad I'm not young in today's society, because it is
Oh,
effing hard, you know?
it is. I mean, I went through some pretty hefty, serious bullying all the way growing up, and through elementary school, high school, college, um, and it's a challenge. And some of you know I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. My great niece, she was 14, and she went and confronted her bully of a couple of years, and she ended up getting stabbed multiple times and was killed by her bully.
Mm-hmm.
Now they caught the kids that did this, and the kids are being punished accordingly. But I also place responsibility on the parents of the bully, because they didn't do their jobs as parents to
Mm-hmm.
raise their kids the right way. And don't don't fall to the default of telling your kid, "Oh, just be nice to him, or just stand up to him," because you don't, each bullying situation is different,
Yeah.
and
And don't tell them that they're jealous.
don't tell them that they're jealous. Here's the thing: the validation of one's feeling is critical, and that is so important. Back to one of the things that you were talking about men, boys and men, where my generation, and even now
Even
generation now,
now,
we're always taught that, oh, just push through it, just man up, push through it, grow a pair, step on through it.
no.
Well, it wasn't until my 50s that I learned that my emotions were okay.
Yeah.
But so many times with men, especially when we're in a relationship, a good woman, a strong woman, is going to say, "Yes, I understand that you're experiencing these feelings," and do the exact same thing that they want us to do for them, of just sitting there and just listening to us,
Yeah.
but not turning that around against us and using that as a weapon against us,
It
because that's what we're afraid of.
that's
That's what's that?
If you're in a relationship like that, that's a red flag, and you're in a toxic relationship.
But most of the time, we're brought up, and
Yeah.
society says that men, that's on us.
Right.
And if we are that way, that shows a weakness, and that we aren't that security that our woman may want or desire from us. And I'm sorry, that's bullshit.
Because, and here's, as a woman, I can say, if a man is vulnerable, I can never say that word. I said it. Vulnerable.
Vulnerable.
To me, that is the sexiest thing ever, because he can talk about how he feels. And this is like, another thing, and I think is like we talked about the cigar being a great equalizer, but it's like when we smoke cigars, we kind of let our guard down. We listen, we think through things, we process things, and especially if you have a couple. I know that women who smoke cigars are almost like unicorns, but we're coming up. There's
Holy
more.
Grail, Holy Grail.
Holy Grail. But I think is like if even with your women friends who smoke cigars, if you're sitting there smoking a cigar and say, "Hey, I've had this and da 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 da," they have more respect for you and they're more apt to listen. And I'm just going to put that out there. So and it just kind of breaks my heart. And that's like one thing. I was like, I know that we kind of went away from the pairing, but I just felt like as we're coming toward the end of this month, it's been more about like the women, and I'm guilty, but it's that mental health check to make sure that you are okay.
And
And another thing that's kind of like Gabe said, a lot of the time it's the men you respect the most to see you shed a tear and you to nut up and to be a man. And I agree with that 100% because like my dad didn't cry until like I came around in the picture and I was just like he never said I love you until I'm like I wouldn't leave him and say, "Okay, daddy, say I love you. I love you. I love you." And I forced him. I kind of forced him to do it. And then he started to talk about his emotions and he completely changed in his even to my older siblings, they say, "Thank you so much because you changed dad." Before dad wouldn't say any of this stuff. He wasn't opening up. We never saw dad cry until, you basically I don't want to say I made him, but I opened that side up to my father. So if a man's crying, y'all, don't belittle him. Don't say stop. You're embarrassing me. He's reaching out. And I hate to use the word. It's a cry for help, but fucking listen. Don't be assholes. And I kind of hate that thing. We've kind of talked about this when it says be kind. I hate that expression. We are all humans and we all fucking deserve respect because we're humans and we're on this earth. You may not
yep.
agree with everything and all the fucking philosophy, but respect the person because they are human, they're alive, and they're breathing. So
So that's that intrinsic value that I was talking about. Respect the person because just because that they're alive and they're breathing and they're human, not from what they can do for you or what they can get. Not for the occupational value of this. And to a couple of things. One of the things that Morgan had stated here of 10 out of 10 don't recommend being part of this generation, but this is the most profound statement. We have to be a part of the change and not just live in the struggle. If you want to
yeah,
see a change, you have to be a part
no,
of. You have to be that change that you want to see.
and we're having like a whole lot of great comments, like Gabriel and Albert. Okay, so Gabe said that's one of the best parts of having discussions while smoking. You have to shut up and listen when you're taking a draw. That and nicotine actually increase your mental elasticity, so you can build better memories and make a better decision. Amen, 100%. And this is why you can have true discussions while you're smoking a cigar. But on that part, for the next part, what Albert said, but not all men can do that. So the partner needs to be patient. And this is where I'm calling the women out. We want equality, women. So if you want the equality, you have to give the equality back. Okay. It's a two-way freaking street. Okay.
Mic drop moment right there.
It is a two freaking way street. Okay. And I'm going to say fucking. Okay.
It is
Like,
equality is not equality when it's only convenient for the person who wants the equality.
amen. So you have to listen up and be patient. And when he opens up and when he feels comfortable, women, you better shut the fuck up and you listen and you don't fucking judge. You whatever he's been there for you, you be there for him. it, and you have to do that. So, I mean, tonight,
If you don't, I'm gonna say it because I've been there. If you don't, we won't. If
hmm
you don't be open and allow us to feel, then we won't feel. And we'll close up, and then you'll be saying, I just wish you were more open with me and more vulnerable with me. Well, guess what? As soon as we fucking are, it's turned around against us and used against us.
yeah, don't do that. And it kind of what you were saying, Frederick kind of put it up there. When you reach out to a person, it's a level of trust. If it's met with judgment, then the trust is destroyed, 100%. And it's kind of like, Morgan was saying, is like, we're are this generation, we have to be that change. Like my daughter is part of that generation. She's 20, and she reached out to me about something in her relationship, and she was like, I want this and this and this. And I'm like, but have you put on your listening ears, not on your demanding parts? Have you put on your listening ears, and have you listened and respected what your partner has said? Because if not, then they're not going to change. So
It's
so
back
that
to what we've been saying all night long. No judgment. No judgment. We've been doing it as kind of as a joke, but really, that judgment goes two ways. So bring it back around. My favorite pairing tonight, strangely enough, the outside of the rice was the one that was kind of blah, didn't really do anything for me.
yeah.
For me, the tamale pairing was good. The pairing with the black refried beans was out of this world. That was
But
great.
but I think where we've had beans before, we both have said that. We have said that. We're I mean, maybe we just need to have a bean night in the cigar. I mean, shoot, maybe put that one, Morgan, take that down as a note. Is because whenever we've had beans, we've always enjoyed it with the cigars. And I'm not sure because if it's like one of that rustic natural, and I hate to say dirt, but it's very earthy. Beans are very earthy.
Hmm.
The cigar is very earthy. So and usually if you're drinking it with like a straight tequila or something, I think in all honesty, I think straight tequila would have gone great tonight. I didn't have to add anything else. Um, I think straight tequila would have been beautiful with beans. You know, just saying.
Bean night, got it. And she'll bring the gas X.
And yes, yes, red beans and rice. Yeah. So,
Uh,
but thank you
get,
for letting me go on my tangent. I just feel like I felt like it was necessary, and I'm glad that we got to discuss it. And I'm glad we had fun with tonight's pairing. And I thank all of our listeners and followers for jumping in. You know, as we went on, more jumped on, and it was fun.
it was fun. I appreciate everybody on this. I think next week we're gonna do some kind of game meet. Gonna be reaching out to Gabe, the man, about some milk. He's got the hookup, so well, I want to bring the challenge back. What makes this even more fun for us when we do this is when we see the comments and we see what you guys are bringing as a pairing too, because that's what makes it even more real for us through all of this. And my daughter's dog Tux just came and snatched up a leaf. Here's Morgan herself.
So, it's been a fun and I love it when we go off. I don't want to call it a tangent because it's not a tangent. It's real life, and it's what people are going through, and they may not be able to express it, and they may not feel like their feelings are validated or their silly feelings, or they need to suck it up, buttercup. But I always love our shows that go for fun and the deep thought.
I do too, and I think it really brings out, the name of our show of the Twisted Pair, that really exemplifies what we're about. Yes, our core here is the pairings, the cigars with everything else. You know, the leaf and grain, and that's why we call it the leaf and grain. But when we can bring out the full experience of the cigars with the conversations, and everybody feels safe about what we're talking about, that's what that's what makes it real. This is life. Yes, she is the reason that this man has a beard, especially the gray part, and let's not forget about the bald.
That is why I color my hair.
I embrace the gray. I've had people say, you really should color your beard, and I'm like, no. If I colored my beard, I wouldn't be the gray beard anymore. And I've had people say, and I've even thought about, well, maybe I need to, maybe I need to cut it to a short beard, and I'm like, no, this is who I am.
Yeah.
And and I reached out to you, and I've reached out to a couple of other people. It's like, okay, is there something that I need to do to change my look to bring in more viewers? But no, this is who I am.
Yeah.
This is who I am. I'm graybeard. I'm bald. I'm tall. I'm thin. I, if you don't like me, well, you don't have to watch me. But
Or
this is who I am.
not.
This is who I'm going to be. So
And here's my thing is like if I had enough gray to where I could do that, because let me tell you, my sister has like that because like Native Americans have like that dark hair, which like I'm more Irish than Native American, so I'm just gonna say that right there. So she has that gorgeous black that turns into that gorgeous salt and pepper gray. Like, I'm just like, and I only have like little bits of it. And I'm like, if I had gray instead of red, I would be ash gray.
I was going to say, if one day you came on and your hair was just, and I dated this one gal, and she had the most beautiful silver hair.
Yeah.
I mean, silver hair. Absolutely loved it. If you came on the show with that, I might accidentally mess up and not call you Red and call you by a different name.
Yeah. And here's my thing is, and I'm gonna say thank you for I did like change the color red in it. You really can't see it, but I did take a picture. So there's more of like blonde highlights in it because summer's coming. So I wanted something. Oh my gosh, no, we don't
Please,
need red
please don't,
girl.
Bert.
No. And that would look really weird on you. I'm just saying. We only need like I'm enough red to handle. Like the world can only handle very few redheads. That is why there's not very many of us. Just saying. Just saying. So,
Okay, so we've got
we gang meet next week.
game meet next week. Thank you. What Morgan just said would be interesting would sourdough bread and salsa.
I want to
Uh,
get Morgan's head one. I think it would be.
Get in, and here she goes: sourdough bread and salsa.
I could only handle two redheads. Isn't that the truth? Because I know that you have some redheads at your house.
No,
No.
she's not. No, she's not pregnant.
Okay, so let me say that. Okay, on so as y'all know, I made a beautiful birth announcement for my daughter. I am not pregnant. Some people think I am. I am unable to carry children anymore, and I thank the good Lord for that because I had to have the surgery for it. I have done my part, my beautiful duty to this world, and I have birth, and I have 5 children that are walking among this earth. So I don't think there needs to be any more little Ashred Juniors because
You have five amazing children
Yeah.
that are walking this earth, and I've met three of them, but I've heard enough stories about the two boys that you've Mama, you have done a fantastic job.
Thank you. And that's my thing is like that is one thing that is like when you have 5 kids, you always kind of wonder like, okay, what's going to be. But that's like one thing is my kid, and it's not. I think it's only like a little bit of a reflection of me, honestly, because my kids are better than what I am and what I will ever be, whatever I will try to be. They Most people are scared of the next generation, and I can honestly say that I'm not because of my children. Because
I'm with you. I for so many years I followed the mantra of I want my son to be, a better man than I am. I want my daughter to find a better man than I am.
Mhm.
And I got it's like, nope, that's not the right thing. I want to be the man that I want my son to be. Show him an example. I want to be the man that I want my daughter to marry, to show her the example of what a good man looks like. And she says, "Red, you have the best children." I'm gonna have to say that she has five of the best children because I have two of them as well. And I am so proud that my daughter has married a man that I am proud of. And so I feel like on my gravestone when I do pass, I would love for the statement of he was the man that I needed.
Yeah,
Period.
and I'm also gonna say like I like Gabe is like throwing out some truths out there. Like Gabe is like truth maker. And
Gabe is
yeah, bombs.
dropping some mics here.
Between those of us in our dotage and the younger generation, they need our wisdom. Yes, they do.
Yes.
And 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 I love it because all of my even though my children are grown and even like Morgan, I know she does this because she'll reach out to you for advice, she'll reach out to me for advice. Give them that because they need that. They need that wisdom. And just kind of think about it like when we were younger, who did we look up to? We looked up to our parents and our grandparents. And it's the same. They need to look up to us. And I'm excited for my little Chocolito to be here.
I,
Karen gave him that nickname. Is that not the greatest nickname? Chocolito.
Chocolito.
That's going to be my
I,
new grandbaby. It's
I,
Chocolito.
I want to say something that my daughter has taught me over the past couple of weeks. Give them the advice. Give them the wisdom that we have from our learning
Mhm.
experience, but understand that that comes from our learning experience, and don't place judgment on them when they
Make their mistakes.
make their own mistakes and make their
Mhm.
own decisions. They will have heard you. And what we say may give them a little bit of a direction, but they're still going to find their own path, and they need to find their own path. Otherwise, they will not learn ever to be able to stand up on their own and make their own decisions when we're not around to help them.
Yes, and that's important. Do you have us un poquito?
Mine got to here, and
Like I can't even
I
like this. This is ridiculous.
I, I got to the point where couldn't relight it anymore.
Yeah,
So I am done. I
but
think this is another show in the making. You know, this is what I love about what we do. We're unlike any other cigar show out there.
we're not talking about sports. We're doing like more. We're we're
Yes,
we're taking it to the next level.
we're not talking about everything else. We're actually talking about the cigars. You're distracting me there, Red.
I'm sorry.
No, no, please continue distracting me.
I was trying to get Ash off. I was trying to get Ash off Ash Red.
All the guys are now going.
Remember, I keep it classy, not trashy. As you said,
and,
an imagination.
and we love that. We
And
love that
love
of you.
just saying.
Everybody tune in next week, okay? We're going to continue taking it to the next level. We're going to continue bringing out different pairings. We're going to explore those pairings. We're going to try different things. We may come up with something that is just like, nope, don't try this one. This is not good. We'll experiment for you. We want you to experiment along with us on this. So next week, some type of game
It's
meat.
game on.
Game on. So I don't want to see you coming up with a I got an 80% 80 20 ground beef hamburger. No, step up. Let's see some elk. Let's see some ostrich. Let's
Bison,
see some
ostrich.
bison. Let's see some shark. Let's see some some type of gamey meat. Game meat. You bring the drink, you bring the cigar, and let's hear about it because that's what we're going to be doing. And then following that on the 12th, we've got Rojas. We have got Rojas.
Rojas. And I'm gonna and here's my thing that here's my cool thing is we've gotten to know and grow with Rojas. We've got to see him grow. So it's gonna be real fun because I mean I don't want to spoil too much, but when he came over here to the Los Estados Unidos, as he would say, um, he he was working at a cigar as doing that and rolling cigars and blending cigars on the back of his car for people to try. So it's what America's made of. It's
It,
that
it,
beautiful story, and I can't wait to celebrate and expand more about him because it's been it's been one of those things like him and Sebastian. It's been one of those beautiful things to watch grow.
it's been a fun ride watching him
Yeah.
grow, watching Edgar Hoyle and S from OSOC grow, watching Ryan and Holly and Madison uh, and Gabriel. When he was a part of 262, watching
Oh.
all of them grow. We've been so blessed of being right smack in the middle of all of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So please come in and make sure join us. Get the word out about us. Get the word out about us. We can blast, and we do a pretty good job of blasting. Thanks to Bert with all of the graphics, and thanks to everybody that shares our show. But you guys going out and telling people, hey, I know you're into cigars. Come watch this show because you're going to learn something from it. So,
Oh,
ooh, okay, all right, game on, game meat
yeah,
and
what
an edif.
I'm gonna do, and it's
I
something that I don't even think you or anybody else is gonna guess what it is. My pairing. I've already got it. It's like locked in my brain.
okay, all right. Well, I think that's a good closing statement.
It is.
So, as we always say, until next week.
Damn it, Gabe! You guessed it. F you.
You didn't have to confirm it.
But I'm going to. Damn it, Gabe. Get out of my
Well,
mind. So
I'm not going.
I'm glad because that just confirms my pairing. The fact that he just said that, and that's exactly what I was thinking, and he confirmed it. So I already grabbed it. So you got to get another.
Oh, I wasn't
You can
even
do
going to
the
go
same.
with it. No, I already know which one I'm going with, and it's from somebody else that we've also watched grow.
Okay.
I'll put it at that. Somebody else that we've also watched grow over the past number of years. It was also 2023. So uh, you're going to have to come next week and find out what we're going to do. It's got game, a red wine,
Flash for next week.
game meat, a red wine, and for us, we're going to be coming with a stick from NFC 2023.
Excited.
So as the 24-year-old says,
she reached into that, like, that was before me and that was before you. So be here or be square. I love it. So
yes.
it has been a very, I loved this show.
I,
Um,
I love this show too. I think this for sure is one of the ones that we need to extract the audio and put onto our podcast too, because
yeah,
so many good gems about this. So
yeah.
till next week, everybody, explore the pairings.
There's something for everyone. Y'all have a beautiful evening and the rest of the week.
We'll see you then. Good
Bye.
night.